Hello everyone, my name is Michelle and welcome to my YouTube channel. Let me just flip through September just so you know how it all went last month. I do have the plan with me for this uploaded in my channel if you want to check it out. Overall, it was a successful month when it comes to planning, even though it was a bit of a hectic month. I will, however, change some of these habits and incorporate them to other spreads, as you will see. Especially when it comes to my moods and sleep tracker. I find that even though they're helpful, I think they can still be improved. I won't really change my meal log and meal planning though, it just works really well to keep track of my health. And I will tone down the languages spread a little bit. I was too optimistic this month with my studies, but anyway. My journal and gratitude are going really well, but I didn't really want to share all of that with you. Next is just my plan as I go setup, because I don't always need the weekly spreads. I decided to go with a colorful Day of the Dead theme because I'm Mexican, so it's much closer to home than Halloween. I find it to be a beautiful celebration, and I think it's more of a celebration of life and of the good memories in general. I wanted to take advantage of all the inspiration when it comes to colors going around this month, so I drew a bunch of flowers throughout all of my spreads, especially of course here in the cover. I just love cempasúchil flowers. They smell so good and they look so pretty. They add so much life to all October in general. I mean, the Day of the Dead is actually celebrated in the first 2 days of November, but I find that October is of course the month leading up to it and the month that I always associate with the Day of the Dead ever since I was a child, so yep, of course I was going to go with it. The purplish flowers that you see here are Flor de Terciopelo. I think the name in English is Red Coxcomb, I think. Can't remember, but yeah, that's it. I felt like I was drawing a little brain at the beginning, but after a few layers of watercolor, I think it more or less took shape. They're not perfect, but I'm quite happy with them anyway. Before I forget, if you're interested in the supplies that I am using, I will write them in the description down below. Also, I wanted to point out that this month of October marks the first full year of me bullet journaling, and I'm really happy because it took me a good 6 to 8 months to even figure out my style, and I was ready to kind of give up on it, but I'm really glad I didn't because it's helped me in so many ways, especially when it comes to my physical and mental health. So if you're watching bullet journaling videos, wondering whether or not you should give it a try, I really suggest that you do. Maybe you're intimidated because of all the decorations you see on YouTube videos, but honestly it took me a good 4 to 5 months to even start with them, and it was only after I found the overall layout that helped with my planning that I started to decorate and to feel a bit more creative when it came to my spreads. I usually write a quote on this side of my cover, but this month I didn't want to completely let go of the Halloweeny vibes, so I mixed up a black cat with the Day of the Dead kind of theme with the bright colors and decorations. I love cats. Cats for the win. You'll see them a lot in my videos, I think. I added the watercolor page using washi tape, so it acts as a bookmark for the rest of the month. This next page acts as kind of a brain dump for me. I use it for my overall goals, projects, costume ideas in this case, notes for this month and the following month, as well as a tiny in review section. It's basically everything that doesn't go in the following spreads. Next is my calendar monthly overview. Since I am not doing any weekly spreads anymore, because I usually find that I either have too much or too little space, I decided to give myself as much space as possible here, just to write things that I know will need to be done on a particular day, but I don't really know if I really need that space in a weekly setup. I messed up on the decorations here, so I just try to fix my mistake by cutting up some little pieces of paper that I had lying around and making it kind of like a papel picado mini banner. Here is my self-care and habit spread, which I mix up a little bit by adding also my finances. My habits are mainly focused on my health because that's what I find I really need to look after. So the list of them goes workout, walking, cycling, reading, doing something I love, drawing, writing, working on my bujo, other creative projects, and doing the dishes. And then for the overall chores that I don't really need to do daily, but that I still need to do throughout the week, to wash my hair, skincare, water my plants, clean up my room, my kitchen, my bathroom, and doing my laundry. Since I also added my finances, there is the budget, my actual spending, and the excess, just to have a better idea of how much money I'm spending on the real necessities, and also a mini no spend calendar. Since I'm going with an altar theme, I decided to add some sugar skulls at the top along with some tangerines and some pan de muerto at the bottom for decoration. I feel like I may have left a little bit too much space between my self-care and habits title and the rest of the actual habits, but I still love it nonetheless. For your reference, and excuse the horrible pronunciation, I'm using the Leuchtturm 1917, so it actually holds up more or less alright when it comes to watercolors. I don't usually use it this way because I tend to use a little bit too much water, but if you're careful with it, it looks good enough, and it saved me a ton of time looking for my color pencils, and it looks cute. I had to super speed up this part because my mood tracker took me forever to finish. I use a circular mood tracker to really pinpoint the exact way I am feeling towards different things in my life, because the usual just one kind of level of mood tracking doesn't work for me. I was diagnosed with both depression and anxiety disorder, and I guess it makes a lot of sense. I tend to be incredibly anxious and overly emotional at times, so I need something to help me stay positive when one thing goes wrong in my day. Say for example, you have a bad day at school with your studies. Sometimes we let that kind of ruin a whole day, and we let that emotion overcome the rest of our mood. So what I do with my mood tracking, I try to find the positives in the rest. I remember that I have good family, good friends, a supportive partner, my body is doing well that day, so it helps me really stay positive throughout. It's right next to my sleep tracker, just so that I can correlate the energy and concentration levels throughout my day, along with the moods and the sleep quality overall. So again, I keep myself positive and thinking that life is indeed beautiful. Another way in which I use my bullet journal to keep track of my health is by having this meal log and meal planner. The setup is basically the same as with my monthly calendar overview, except that at the top of each little square I added the initial letter of fruit, veg, snacks, water, and another square for my appetite levels throughout the day. By the way, my fountain pen was misbehaving and I couldn't use it to write down all of the titles throughout the monthly setup. In the end it looks cute, but it was annoying. We're nearly at the end of it. Next is my study spread. So the way I do this is I color-coded each one of my subjects for uni at the beginning of the semester, and then I just have 3 columns, one for classes or due dates, another one for readings, and another one for writing/working on that subject. So the way I just keep up with it is by marking the days in which I feel like I would need to do each one of these things, and I also use it to track my attendance. Although I'm not currently going to any language courses, I still wanted to have this spread just to keep myself thinking that I need to do it. So it's similar, except I have a column for each one of the modules I want to study each day: vocabulary, grammar, listening, and reading. And to force myself to keep going back to it, I added a bunch of flower decorations. Next is my journal and gratitude setup, which I changed to make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. I normally just add little photos as memories and highlights. This time around I wanted to add the little title along with a bunch of extra decorations as well. Oh, and the way I actually use the gratitude part of this setup is by saying I'm grateful for these things in the past that I've just highlighted. Finally, I rewrote all the Inktober prompts here because I want to doodle more and keep the creative side of me going on, and I added this other special paper that is good for drawing in here with the same technique I used in the cover here. Finally, I am done. It was exhausting. It was over 7 hours of me sitting down doing it, but I'm really proud and happy. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm really happy to be able to share this with you. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, I hope I have enough time for it, I will be uploading the flip through of my first bullet journal and perhaps giving some tips for beginners, which I hope you'll find useful and I hope you'll enjoy as well. See you later. Bye!